Welcome back to GBGuns, and we've got a 380 roundup. This is a viewer request. I'm going to go over some 380s and tell you what I think about them. So 380s are generally considered to be pocket guns like this. This little guy, where my finger rests on the front side serrations, itty bitty DB380 by Diamondback. This is kind of what people think of typically with 380. They think it's a mouse gun slash pocket gun. No features, just what you need to run the gun, and meant to be something small and light. However, modern 380 defensive ammo has proven itself to be 78% as effective as 45, probably because Browning invented both, and he invented the 380 by making a 78% scale of the 45. Yes, it is a little younger than Luger's 9x19, and it's a little smaller. Used to be considered not powerful enough, but modern defensive ammo has changed that, and so we have an array of guns that now are available, offering less recoil than 9mm, slightly more comfortable to shoot. I'm going to break these down into single and double stacks and go over my thoughts on these. If you want to see the in-depth on this, go back to the channel page and search within the videos on the channel page for each of these guns. In there you'll find a full tabletop and full shooting impressions video. This is going to be just my discussion on what I think about these guns, handling them one by one. So it's not uncommon for 380 to be in a blowback function. It's still manageable. In 380 is 9x17mm. A lot of the Makarov guns, which are 9x18mm, are also still blowback, and you can feel the difference. 9x19, which is Luger, I'm not sure I'd want to feel blowback in. This gun is blowback, the other two not quite. So the Llama MicroMax, which is a very handsome single stack, 1911. Very comfortable to shoot, very fun, gives you all of the crisp trigger and controls of 1911 in something scaled down literally to 380. You can see how short and small this is, and yet thanks to the beaver tail, my big meaty hands are still well in the clear. You get fiber optic front sight, all the features that you'd look for on a 1911 scaled down into 380. The grip angle is slightly different because, of course, the rounds stack differently. And one of the fun things with this is if you want to, well, if you're a 1911 fan or you want to train 1911, but with a little less recoil and something slightly smaller in the hands, or maybe you just have small hands and a big old 45 cannon is a little too much for you, the Llama MicroMax has been a fun option and better fit and finish, better construction and details than other mini 380 1911s that I've encountered. So that's my thoughts on the Llama MicroMax. The Bersa BP380CC is one that I enjoy because it is dimensionally identical to the BP9CC, the 9mm version that is one of my carry guns. It is not a fixed barrel, so you have functions more like a traditional 9mm, and this thing is great because it's got that same trigger. Watch this. Take up, break. And my favorite part, reset, break. The reset is stupid short. If you want a gun that you can shoot quickly, the BP9CC and BP380CC are great options for that. You can see, even with the magazine, they put a spacer in there to make a 9mm magazine work for 380, because 380 is just 2mm shorter than 9mm. So this is having a clone of a standard gun in 380, or letting you have a full feature, full size gun that you can carry in 380. New to market, the M&P Shield 380 EZ. This thing really impressed me. Everything about it is easy. Look how soft that slide is, and it's still a locking action. See, barrel's not locked in place. Controls are all easy to operate. This has the external safety. Feels a lot like a Shield, but it's in 380. Even the magazine is labeled very clearly with numbers, and you have the thumb guide slider to make loading a little bit easier. Very pleasant gun to shoot. The grip safety is, I know people complain about those. I have no idea why, guys. Once it's in your hand, you don't know what's there. Who cares? And the trigger on it is nice. Very comfortable gun to use. This one even has 3 rail spots on there, so if you wanted to nightstand this or add a laser, it's possible, just like on the Bersa. Very fun gun, very comfortable to shoot, and once again, either an excellent trainer or a softer alternative to 9mm. So that covers the single stacks. Let's take a look at our double stack options. Finding a double stack 380 is not the easiest thing these days. We've got 2 options here, and really only one of them is still being imported. The first one here is, this was under a Zenith import. Yes, that's an aftermarket grip. They came black. I just kind of like the black and white. This is very similar to the Beretta Cheetah or Beretta 85. Double stack. It is a fixed barrel, just about. For blowback, you've got a safety that kills the trigger, does not decock. And an okay trigger. Not a bad option. There are still a few of these floating around if you're interested in one. I will say one caution to it is the edge here on the end of the beaver tail there can be a little abrasive or end up kind of riding, and you can end up with a little bit of hammer bite if your hand gets too high. But once again, these are not meant for people with banana hands like myself. These are supposed to be smaller guns, but this gives you that double stack capacity. If you want the details, etc., like I said, the tabletop and shooting review videos of all of these guns are on the channel. Our next option is currently available, being produced and being imported. This is the CP380 from Grand Power that has almost all of the features of your standard Grand Power, except it doesn't have the rotating barrel. It's a standard blowback. However, with the hammer being there, it ends up being a very soft shooter because the slide has to overcome that hammer each time it comes back. So it's really comfortable to shoot, and watch the trigger, take up, wall, break. Come on. That's what I get for having a magazine in it. And pretty quick. It has a safety or down to decock, which leaves it in double action only. It can still fire double action only. So you can go, if you really wanted to, decock. Oh, no, not in safety. So you can either decock or have it on safe. But all of the great features of a Grand Power, meaning that controls are completely ambidextrous on both sides, that the ergonomics are awesome, and you've got a nice trigger set up just in 380 with a fixed barrel. This thing was incredibly fun to shoot and very, very accurate. Grand Power CP380. So I hope that helped in bringing up some 380 options that are out there. You know, I like to find stuff that's different and unconventional, and I always fight for the underdog. 380, I wouldn't say is an underdog caliber anymore. Modern defensive ammo is pretty darn good, and if anyone says otherwise, you can ask them if they'd prefer to be shot with a 380 or to be not shot at all. That's all there is to it. Range time is going to cost you a little bit more because since 380 is not as popular as 9mm worldwide, not as much of it's being produced, and the ammunition costs a little bit more per shot. But if you're not someone who's out shooting all the time, I don't think it really matters. Hope this helped. Thanks for watching.